As you know, the king is the most important piece in your chess army. Protecting your king from attack is how you keep from losing the game. Because it's so important, there's a special move called castling, which you can use to put your king in a safe place. Castling is the only time in which you're allowed to move two of your pieces, a king and a rook, in one move. Here's a board setup with only the white king and the two white rooks. You can castle either to the king side, which is called castling short, or to the queen side, which is referred to as castling long. To castle kingside, first move the king 2 spaces toward the rook to g1, then move the rook to the other side of the king on f1. To castle queenside, do the same thing. Move the king 2 spaces toward the rook to c1, and move the rook to the other side of the king on d1. From black's point of view, this is castling kingside, and this is castling queenside. In a game, castling moves the king away from the center of the board where it's more vulnerable to attack. Note how much safer the two kings are after they castle. Here, white castles queenside and black castles kingside. It's usually a good idea to castle early in a game, both to protect the king and give the rook a chance to control the center files. There are 4 important rules that govern castling. Rule number 1. The king and the rook may not have moved from their starting squares. In this board setup, white cannot castle to either side because both rooks have moved from their starting squares. Even if one of the rooks moves back, white still cannot castle. Rule number 2. All of the spaces between the rook and the king must be unoccupied. In this diagram, white cannot castle kingside because the knight is in the way, but he can castle queenside because all of the spaces between the king and the rook are empty. Rule number 3. The king cannot be in check. On this board setup, it would appear that white can castle kingside because neither the king nor the rook has moved from its starting square, and the spaces between the rook and king are empty. However, the white king is currently in check from the black bishop on b4, so he cannot castle. Rule number 4. The squares that the king passes over cannot be under attack, and since you can never move your king into check, the square to which it's moving can't be under attack either. On this diagram, the spaces between the king and rook on the queen side are open. However, 2 of the squares are under attack. The d1 square is under attack from the black bishop on g4, so the white king cannot pass over it. And the c1 square is under attack from the rook on c8, so the king cannot land on it. Again, the 4 rules governing castling are: 1. The king and rook may not have moved from their starting squares. 2. All the spaces between the king and rook must be empty. 3. The king cannot be in check. And 4. The squares the king will pass over may not be under attack, nor can the square on which the king will land. Can white castle long, short, or not at all? Correct. Can black castle long, short, or not at all? That's right. Can white castle long? That's correct. Can black castle short? You got it right. Can white castle short? Correct. Can black castle short? That's right. Can White castle short? That's correct. Can Black castle short? You got it right. Can Black castle short? Correct. Can White castle long? That's right. Can White castle long? That's correct. Can Black castle short? You got it right.